Well, hello. I hope you're all doing well. I'm being very careful here. The last time I was around rocks this size, I managed to snap one of the carbon fibre legs on this this old tripod of mine. So I'm doing my best not to emulate that once again. So let me just gingerly and carefully set up. I've been lucky enough to be in the area with work that I can actually set up and do a sunset shot before I have to do the 2-hour journey home. So I count myself as being very lucky today. Okay, so Rapid Bay, 2 fantastic jetties. The council, in all fantastic wisdom, I've decided to leave this old one here, although they have done some renovation work, by meaning that they've been taking the wood down and making this little structure a bit safer for everyone, for which I'm grateful, because they do make an absolutely wonderful study. So really I've come down here and, you know, the sun is going to dip behind the hill behind you, so I'm not anticipating any great colour or direct light. We happen to have some at the moment, so I'm going to have to really shift on a little bit because it's going to go shortly. So I'm immediately just going to go for the plain and simple composition, with everything just going off into infinity. I'm going to firstly see how our polarizer reacts. And that's with the polarizer on, and you can see the glare from that water's gone, and I can see the rocks underneath. Or if I adjust the glare, I get the wet rocks, but I also get reflection of that sky, and that's what I want at the moment. That's the look I'm after. So I'm actually not using the polarizer. That's all. There we go. As is my usual, I'm going to put on a soft grad to tame that sky a little bit. I'm just going to angle it slightly, and you can see some of the detail returning in that sky, and I think I'm just about ready to decide quite how much I'm going to, how long this exposure is going to be. We're no good being at f22, so I'm going to come down to around f14, and then I'm going to adjust our shutter speed. It's giving me an 1/8 of a second. I'm just going to slightly adjust this just to mimic the angle of that bit of jetty coming in, and I am going to focus just on that. It's maybe not quite the nearest metal cross that you can see there, but enough, I think, to give me enough depth of field throughout the image. So I'm just going to very gently adjust my footing, because it's actually hurting where I am. There we go, that's better. Okay, so we got an 1/8 of a second. So what can we do with that? Well, I'm going to fire up my trusty Nissi app. I'm going to put this down to, what did we say, an 1/8 of a second. So an 1/8 of a second as it is. With a 2-stop will give us 0.5, half a second. But I have 6 stops, which is 8 seconds, 10 stops, which gives us around about a 2-minute exposure. And so long as Rafi doesn't get further into my shot, I think that's what we're going to do. I'm going to throw on 10 stop, and I've locked my focus as you saw. 10 stop going in, and let's see what that gives us. Shutter speed, it did say 2 minutes. That looks about right. I'm just going to check the histogram. The histogram's in the middle, so that is actually perfect for us. So all things being favourable, I shouldn't have to do anything else. Oh, and Rafi's just knocked our composition. So let me just, Raf, grab him a stone to get him out the way. He's just knocked the tripod. So let me try and find something quite small for him to play with. And that will keep him out of my, oops, I've got to get all the way down. There we go. Whoops a daisy. There we go, sunshine. You chase that rock. Leave these ones to me. Now I've got to balance and totter all the way back. Right, and I'm just going to check if that has knocked our... No, it hasn't knocked our level out, so I'm going to go for that. So I'm checking here to see, my intention is to do a panorama, and I'm just checking to make sure that my level stays level as I'm panning left to right, and it is. So it's giving us 1.3 of a second. Again, I'm probably going to do a long exposure, probably a minute rather than 2. Let me just shift you a little bit so that I can see you. There we go. So yeah, so I'm moving left to right and it's still level, which is good for us. It'll indicate that everything will work out fine for us. So I've got to keep an eye on you and this camera. So we'll put on our stop. Whoops, second. You can hear that. Put on our 10 stop. Here we go. And again, I'm going to have to focus stack this. So I'm going to focus on this near post of ours. That's the nearest, clearest post that we've got. I do love how this comes in over the top. And then let us go up to, well, 2 minutes. It gives us 2 minutes. I don't know whether to stick with that. I did like the 2 minutes exposure from before. I think I'm just going to go for it. So yeah, we're going to go for that. I'm going to pop it up to ISO F. I'm going to pop it up to F16 this time. And I did feel that wave shake the camera, so let's just bite the bullet and just go. So I'll take this first shot focused on this first pylon. Just checking for any drops on there. It's not completely all in focus all the way out. It's a little bit soft, but I'm more than happy with that. So I'm just going to adjust this by about a third. And I'm going to go another 2 minutes. And with this one, I've got a feeling I'm going to flip it horizontally. I want it coming in on the left, and then the jetty leading out and then out on the right hand side. And I've said it often, but it doesn't hurt to say it again, is that our Western eye, we read from left to right, and so our brains are sort of in the mode of interpreting from left to right. That's the way our eyes scan. So if we scan an image, a simple image, we tend to scan it from left to right, you know, and then our eye will settle on some area within the scene. But generally that's the more pleasant image to our eye. There's less dissonance in trying to understand what that image is. That's not to say that anything coming in from the right going to the left is wrong. Not saying that in the slightest. It's just I find it more pleasing to come from left to right. We may get another image, but we'll need to head out from here, I think. Tide's coming in a bit. I might be able to get one from under the jetty itself, but it's a bit difficult just by the look of it. There's some odd posts in there, but let's get in there and have a look. I'll talk you through whether I think it's worth the shot or not. If it is, we'll take it. If not, we'll move on. Right, I think under here, I think we're going to stick to the geometric shapes, I think. Again, I often say I wish I brought my 17mm, but this just about works. I'm just very slightly adjusting. I want the end of this jetty, as you can see by the light, to be on the left-hand third. What I think is important is to have that little post there. to sort of cap the end. If I take it away, that end just seems to hang. So I'm lucky that I can bring the two of those in and keep this corner coming in the corner. This one, although it's a wider piece, is just overlapping that corner. And that little light fills that space quite well. So overall, I'm quite pleased with that. I think we're going to try and go for a 1 minute exposure here. I think 2 is too long because I will have to focus stack this. So I'm going to bring it up to about here. So I'm going to focus stack here, 3 shots, 1 here, 1 on that right hand jetty and 1 further down. So at 1 minute ago, we may as well start straight away. Here we go. Let's hit it. Because there's going to be 4 shots here. I'm going to do 3 1 minute exposures for that focus stack. And then I'm going to do 1 either raising the ISO to get some of the detail underneath this jetty. So rather than try and raise it from the 1 minute exposure, I'll bump the ISO up and raise it so you can see that detail and take it again. Okay, we're getting tiny tinges of colour, very minute tinges of colour. So we've come up onto this new jetty and shooting across. So I think I'm high enough to get the majority of these little pylons on the left-hand side, just here in the water, but I can't get all of them, not without a step ladder. So we're just going to have to, you know, suck it and see. And I'm using the polarizer, as you can see, for maximum glare or no glare, so you can see under the water. I love the colour that you get from that maximum glare, and I get the reflections much clearer of those posts in the water. So I'm absolutely enthralled. I think that's probably the word, with this little composition. I really do love it. So I'm just adjusting, straightening, and I'm probably going to come down a touch and just get some more of that delicious water. It's probably going to be 16 by 9 because we've still got blue sky above the clouds there, and there's a tiny tinge of red. I'm not sure we're going to get any more than that, but I'm happy to just shoot this as it is. So I'm just going to focus in on these posts. Let me just focus in on these posts. F16, ISO 200. We're around 2 minutes. You can see I've tried to keep the end pieces out on the left-hand side and just concentrate on this row, this stack. I think they're all in focus. So if we just have a look at the histogram, it's in the middle, so that should be okay. We should be good to go. So 2 minutes focused on those pylons. Let's just go. Now we have to be careful on this jetty, because if people walking past, it introduces some bounce, should we say, some movement, and yeah, we don't want that. So I'm just going to step away very gingerly. and step on a slab separate from the camera, and we'll just wait. But we are getting a touch of colour, which is gorgeous. Right, we're done. Let's walk along and see what we can get further along here. Okay, so I've come down as low as I can, spread these tripod legs low, and that's to get the middle portion of that structure on the horizon line. I've been quite lucky here. I've zoomed into just under 30, or 28 mil, and I'm able to get the touch of the headland, the structure that I wanted, and a portion of the broken jetty off to the right. I intended just to shoot this broken separate part in the middle, and I may do that after this, but first of all, I'm just going to shoot for this. So I'm at 2 minutes. I've still got that. Not sure if it's the 10 stop on, is it still? Well, we'll have a look in a minute. It's doing its job. F16, ISO 250. I've raised it just a little bit, and yeah, I think we can go for that. Here we go. 2 minute exposure. Off we go. I say thank you very much for joining Rafi and I here at Rapid Bay. Thoroughly enjoyed ourselves, haven't we? Yeah. And all it leaves me to say is please look after yourself, look after your loved ones. Until next time, see ya. You good boy. Hey, you good boy. Yeah, you are.